Okay, so recording started officially. Thank you guys. This is our second day. Okay, in AI era. So today we will going to cover first topic, that is statistical mathematics in data science. Okay, so let's start. So before we start anything, okay. So this is the topic we will going to cover, this first one. So why we need this thing. So in practical example, maybe you already learned about like mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and another thing. Okay. Don't ask me right now any question. Let me finish the whole session. Okay. Then shoot your question. Okay. But as I last day also requested, so in this full session, try to take a screenshot of these videos as much as possible. Create a short note, because this is going to help you. So first thing we will going to start. The concept is basically MAD, MAD, and standard deviation. But before that, this terminology maybe is actually known to you, maybe not. So that's perfectly okay. So just think, this is the example like history traced, few names are there, okay, and few scores are there. This is the mass states, few names and score. So if you actually came up with the average for both the part is 70, correct? If you just create the average means each and every number, okay, you need to create a summation divided by how many points are there or names are there, okay? Or you can say in stat, how much populations are there. So this is the terminology. All the data points is called population. Subset of population is called sample. Okay. So now the terminology we started. Now just think, this is the average. This average, if I draw with this line, okay, if I just draw a line over here, you can see all the things are coming up within this range, like 65 to 75, correct? Because minimum is 65 and maximum is 75 over here. But here, the maximum is 96, correct? And minimum is 43. So the range of this full distribution, this is called distribution of points, okay, that is huge. This is small, this is huge, correct? So that's mean we can say the variance is small over here, and here the variance is large, correct? So this is the basic idea. Now with the same thing only, okay, if I need to create mean, correct? What is mean? Whatever the score is there, okay, and the average that we already got. What is the average? 70. So 75 minus 70, it's coming 5. And if I create absolute value, absolute means if that is minus also, it will treat as a plus, plus also treats as a plus. That is called absolute. So the mean is basically coming 3.16 of this kind of things. Means if you take the average again with this row, then it will come 3.16, correct? Now here, the same way, the mean is coming 23. That is huge. So that's mean if your point is variance is small or distribution is small, so over there your mean is work. But if your variance is too large, over there your mean is not going to work. Okay. Now what is happened? Last point, what we just did score minus average, and we take the absolute value, then we take an average. This is nothing but mean absolute deviation. Okay, so just think, there is two kind of deviation, standard deviation and mean absolute deviation. So this is called mean absolute deviation, because first thing what we calculated, this is normal mean. When we transfer to this is called mean absolute deviation. Now think about two set. This is like a treat as a first one, term 1 and term 2. Both are the history test. Okay, same thing I calculated and created a mean absolute deviation. Then what is happened? The range is same, the deviation or variance is same. Now here you can see the deviation is overlapping. Multiple points are overlapping. Why? Because multiple points are zero with the same average only. Because this line is what? This middle line. This is your average. Correct? The middle point. So if something is coming zero, so obviously it will overlap. Okay. So mean idea is clear. Mean absolute deviation, that is clear what we are doing. Now, on top of this absolute value, or you can say this core average, what is the coming? If you are square that term, you need to square that term. Means this is coming, this value. So if you square 25, 2 to 4, 2 to 4, like this way, then take an average. Okay, then square root, because you squared over here, correct? So that's why you are taking average, like a square root average. So what is coming? 3.55 over here. Same way for the second set, correct? Means history test second term. That example only, if you are squaring, this is the coming, this is coming. Now if you take a square root average again, now think, previously in both the cases, this is the thing is coming, correct? Now here the average is coming 3.55 and this one is coming 6.02, correct? So this is the formula of standard deviation. So what we just saw, now look at this one. So this is what? This is the symbol of standard deviation. Okay, let me change the color. So this is standard deviation. This is what? Summation, because we are summing up. What we are summing up? Xi means your those data points, means these points is basically your Xi, means X, basically X. Now I, last day we already saw I1, I2, I3 like this way. So same way, just think, this is the Xi point minus, this is the symbol of what? Mean, correct? So mean is basically that average only that we already saw. So that one we are minus. Then we are squared those things, correct? And this is my total population that we are dividing, because we are taking average. And lastly, we are doing square root. This is the thing we just saw in a practical way with some example. Okay, I can directly jump with this set only, but this will not going to understandable. But you already saw how we can derive in a practical way. So this is called standard deviation. This is so much important. Okay, why we are basically use stats. Okay, and this thing, because we need to remove outlier. This is the main part, because you have data, your data is unstable, correct? Like suppose you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, suddenly 125. So in visually only you can say this is outlier, because based on this thing only your average will dramatically change, correct? So I need to remove, I need to detect. So that's why we will use these stats. Okay, and later another part that we will learn in very future in machine learning, that is L1 norm, L2 norm. Okay, it's called lasso and regression. So those part we will use when we will do like mean absolute deviation, standard deviation for those norms. And this is called Euclidean distance, Matheson distance, that we will learn in future. Okay, so up to this is clear, I hope. So no issue. So we learned from here like mean absolute deviation and standard deviation. Then let's jump to the next topic. That is normal distribution. This is very simple, because we already saw this kind of chart, correct? So this is the name, and just think this is the height. So this is the normal height. This diagram is called histogram. Again, listen carefully. This diagram is called histogram. Why histogram? Because it's telling me the history. in terms of frequency. Means this is my frequencies, okay, and this is my count. Means 4 to 4.5. How many data points are there? From this to this, how many? From 5 to 5.5, how many data points are there? See, 5 to 5.5. One data. Oh, sorry, this not this one. 1, 2, 3. 3 data points are there. So this is correct. Correct. It's coming like 3. And this curve is called bell curve. Okay. Or in future, we will see this is called KDE, kernel dimensionality estimation. Means we are creating a smooth line using this KDE. Okay. Now see this example. What happened? As I already told, this is the thing. Now suddenly Smith is joined in the height of 9. And you know, we already know, correct? No one's height can be 9 feet. Maximum wall record that is around like 8.7. I don't know. Like perfectly, maybe 8.7. So 9. So it's impossible. See, your curve is over here. Suddenly one range is here. So you can, from this histogram only, you can easily know this is your what? Outline. But in practical world, you will not going to deal with 10 data or like 20 data, correct? It will be like 10 million data. So it's very hard to understand, correct? Graphically. So what is the solution? Solution is only this statistical analyzing. Based on that only you can remove, you can check how many data points are there. Okay. Now this is the fun part. So what is basically means my standard deviation and what are like thumb rule over here. So if this is your distribution and this is your bell curve, okay, the middle point is called mean, that we already know, that we already saw. So think about -1 to +1, -2 to +2, -3 to -3. Sorry, -3 to +3. So those are the quarter. It's called quarter. Okay, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter in positive part, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter in negative part. So your data we already saw, like not we, means all the researcher of statistical things, they already saw like maximum points it will fall in this -1 to +1 because that's the average, correct, by default. So they are saying we saw 68.3% of data it will fall over here, 95.5% it will fall in second quadrant or second deviation, standard deviation, and 99.7% data it will fall in a third standard deviation. After that, if anything is there, that is my outlier. Okay, so as per statistics that you can prove also, that we will see. Now point is, what is z-score? Because whatever the thing is coming, so this thing you can call as a normal distribution also, because it's normally distributed. This, if you split it up, correct, so this part and this part both are same, so that's why it's called normally distributed. Now point is, what is z-score? Z-score, if you know standard deviation that we already learned, z-score is the same thing. See, in this diagram, if any points are coming over here in between, like 1.5, 2.5, here again -1.5, -2.5, 0.5, -0.5 plus, this is called z-score, and this is also very vital to finding the outliers. We are just introducing the terminology. Again, we will see how it will help. So z-score definition is how many standard deviation away data point is from mean. So that's why we are doing. So standard deviation has some limitation, like it's have like some quadrant 1, 2, 3. If something is like in point, so obviously it will come as a z-score. Now see this one. With this data only, whatever the data we got, we know the average is 5.25. So how you can calculate z-score? Z-score formula is same. Like this is my data point. This is my mean, like average. and my standard deviation. So you need to calculate mean and standard deviation. So mean or average that we got from here only directly 5.25. Standard deviation formula we already saw. So from that only we can get easily this one. Like this is the formula, like this is my data point minus average by this is what? My standard deviation. So it's coming like Z score 1.53. So now see all the points, if you see, all are coming very near, means -1 to 1 only. All the points are coming, correct? So that's why those statistical like publics who were actually working, they are saying most of the part it will come in the middle range only, because that's the thing, that's the Z score. Now let's see how it's actually work practically. So let's just jump in the code. So there is some height weight that we already saw. We just gathered that part only. So see, the gender is there. So this data is holding like 10,000 records. I collected these data points from Kaggle. Okay. And just working over there only. So if I just write one line only, see, DF height. So means I'm checking this thing. Okay. This one. Uh, Give me one moment. Yeah. Got it. So I am working with this part only, this height. So see over here, I'm actually asking, give me the describe all those things about this height column. So this is saying the count of the data is 10,000, mean is 66.36, standard deviation, minimum value. This is my maximum value. This is my 25% data, 50% data, 75% data. Means let's see, let's go a little bit scroll down, let's see. That means is what, let's, this is like a histogram plot that we are creating about all the data. See, it's coming like that way only. Mid part is over here in the middle, correct? All the parts are coming within that third quadrant only. So we can easily say this is normally distributed, this one. And this line, if I just remove this part, let's remove. What is coming? No line is coming, correct? Like that bell curve is not coming. That's why I said, so showcase about that bell curve, we use kernel estimates destination. Sorry. Okay. So this is called histogram plot because it's creating histogram. So how can I find the mean? It's simple. df.height.mean. It will return me the mean. How can I collect the standard deviation? Simple. df.height.std. Your standard deviation is here. If you calculate mean minus 3 into standard deviation, because we already saw it over here, minus 3 plus 3, correct? This way. So we can say minus 3 multiply standard deviation. This is the thing I am doing over here. Minus 3 standard deviation plus 3 standard deviation. So that's mean your data should be minimum 54.82, maximum 77.91. Apart from that, in both the side, left side or right side, whatever the things are coming, those are your outlier. Okay. So that's why for detecting those outlier, what I'm doing, I'm just writing this thing, df.height less than 54.82 and greater than 77.91. Whatever the data, these 7 points are coming as an outlier. Okay. Another way to deal that, if I need to discard all the outlier from my data points, what I will do the just reverse, and whatever the points are coming. So I have like 10,000 points, correct? Now it's showing 9993 because it's excluded these 7 points. Okay. So now you guys got that point, how we are dealing with mean, standard deviation and z-score for this one, correct? So z-score we already talked, same thing, same way if we are dealing with. So we are just creating another column, that is Z score. Okay. Then again, I'm calculating the mean, standard deviation. Then here I'm checking the Z score. That formula we already saw, like that way only this data is coming 1.94 or not. Because see, this one is 1.94. So this is only I'm checking through mathematically. Then I'm saying if something, now see, this is so easy. If something is greater than 3, how many data points are there? Because we saw -3 to +3, correct? So it should come in between of 3. So we are saying like this many data points are there, that is beyond that as a +3. Now if we are checking -3, we are saying like 2 data points are there, that is over there. So see, again, this is 5 point, this is 2 point, and my problem is solved. I know what are my Z score. Based on the Z score, what are my outlier. Here directly I'm getting through this condition. Here I don't need any sort of like that kind of condition. Rather, from the Z score only, I can directly detect. So it's clear like how Z score and normal distribution actually work. Okay, so let's get back to mean, median, mode. This is very easy. See, practical thing we are starting. Okay, again, practical example. Suppose just think you are opening a luxurious class showroom. Luxurious car showroom. So obviously you need to know, correct? Like what are the, that environment, those public monthly income, okay? That place is costly or not, living style. Obviously you will then only open a luxurious car showroom. So if you are a data scientist, obviously you have to gather some data from the market and you need to analyze. Then only you can predict opening of that luxurious car showroom, it will be beneficial or not. How we will do that? So this kind of example we will see based on this mean, median, mode, percentile. So mean we already saw, correct? Let's see. Just think about this. This is a monthly income chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 persons are there. Their monthly income in dollar, like in a very simple way, like 4,000 to we can say like 8,000. In between of that, suddenly in that location, one person came, that is Elon Musk, and the monthly salary or income is the 10 million. Now, if you average this one without Elon Musk, obviously your average is 6250. Simple. Now, based on Elon Musk only, now the average came 1.543 million. So obviously, based on this average, you are not going to open that showroom because that's huge. So what you need to do, you need to calculate the median, and median is simple. If you have 7 data points, take the middle one. Okay, that's median. If you have 8 data points, so obviously it's coming like 2 data points in middle. So based on that 2 middle point, add like summation divided by 2. That will be your median. So whatever the data is there, so that's perfectly okay because that's not make sense. So now think about this handling machine value. This SUPIA, like name, credit score, approved loan or not, but you need to calculate the monthly income. So using this median, you can easily calculate. But if you are not using median, obviously it will not going to work because Elon Musk value is too high. Correct? So that's why we are using median. So how mean and median used in data science in 2 ways. One is descriptive analysis and one is data cleaning. So descriptive analysis means it's saying something. Those data is saying something, representing something. And data cleansing means how we can fill up some NA value, okay, or how we can actually detect and remove those outliers. So this part is very much helpful. Now, if this is the point, 50% data is there, 50% data is here. So that we know. So we can easily say 50 percentile of this data set is 7,000. Here, 100% percentile is basically this much. If I say like 25%, that is coming in between. So you can easily take like 5,000, 6,000 plus 2 value. divided by 2. Whatever the part is coming, that is my 25th percentile. Same way, 75th percentile. Now, point is, there is one term that is called IQR, that is interquartile range. Whatever the things are coming in between 25th percentile and 75th percentile, that range is called IQR, a range. Okay, that is also a very much helpful. So percentile is used again for the outlier removal, because based on those IQR formula, you can easily remove, like we already saw in standard deviation, or you can say like general data analysis, you can also do that. Mode is basically, mode means most frequently occurring value in a data set, means how many times, the frequency, that is mode, nothing else, very simple. So there is two kind of descriptive statistics are there. Sorry, two kind of, okay, this mean, median, mode, or you can say statistics things are there. One is descriptive, another one is inferential. Okay, descriptive and inferential means when, suppose just think about this COVID-19. Okay, India is having like large amount of population. Before creating a vaccine, if you are testing individually, that is possible. That is not possible, correct? So you are not working with the population. So you are working with the sample. That's why in research, they always said sample. So when something is come like a total population, that is my inferential statistics. When it's come on top of population, maybe not population, sorry, sample, maybe in a random sample, like suppose from West Bengal, you took like 500 sample. From another state, you took like 700, another state 1000, like a random way. So this is called descriptive statistics. So that's why this process, descriptive statistics is, process is simple, but inferential is so large and complex, correct? Because you need to play totally all over the world. Cool. So let's move forward. The last one, that is log normal distribution. Now think about this data only. Log normal distribution is simple. Whatever my normal distribution, before that just put that log. Done. Means how? See, this is my this thing we already saw. This is my normal distribution up to this. Now what is this tail? If this tail is there, because you can't discard all those data, because this is not your outlier. Actually people are exist. Then what is happened? Always you can't remove, correct? Then what is happened? Then that point of time we will use log normal distribution. Simple. Whatever the points are coming, they are based on their income. Before that, just play the log. Okay. If you get a normal distribution, applying a log function in your data set is called log normally distributed. Simple. Like example, domain specific. In hospital, maximum people actually recover within 10 to 15 days. Correct? But there are some people who are in coma. They are taking like maybe 1 year in coma. If you are dealing with those kind of data, that's not your outlier, those are data. Then you have to perform through those log normal distribution. Okay. Or in a company, suppose average advertising budget. In a mediocre company, maybe like 45 up to 45 million, that's a mediocre company. Just think about Facebook, Google. Maybe their budget is 500 million. So they are not outlier. They are also a data. So those data we will deal with log normal distribution. So same way we will calculate, because we already learned how we need to create a new data set, okay, with extra column based on those formula. Like that way only we will calculate. If you want to see in practical way only, simple. See, this is my income data that I collected, income and count, how many. So if I'm creating a bar plot, it's coming like this way only. But if I just put a log scale, extra line, log scale, see, all are coming like this way only. like a almost normal distribution. Correct? So what are those things we learned? We learned MAT, we learn standard deviation, we learn mean, median, mode, we learn IQ word, percentile or quantile, and we learn log normal distribution. Each and everything is required to understand the data, because you are just taking a data and putting in your machine learning model. That will not going to work. First, you need to clean your data. So this statistical part is too much important in whole machine learning and deep learning. Okay, all the codes and other thing that I will share, okay, with my GitHub only. Don't worry, all the notebooks, so that you can play around. So, okay, so let's me stop this recording.